The last time I was here in the hot seat, I talked about my little daughter who listens to Abraham through Solomon and Sarah books. So she says hello. I wanted to acknowledge a practice that I am practicing of appreciation by when I exercise in the morning. Well, first I got it from listening to a CD, not a cassette, but a CD. That the message would have been the same, but it was a man that was in the hot seat, and he talked about making a thank you note to you and Abraham, and about all the things that had happened. It was a funny but potent message. So I took that and I adapted it to the digital format, and then I made notes in my phone. And when I exercise in the morning, I enjoy the feelings of well-being I get from knowing that I am more than this physical body and the things that I enjoy. And I have this long list. And it plays while I exercise and with music in the background. And it just gets me on the right track in the mornings of just being fully appreciative of all of the things that I've experienced and I'm experiencing. And I have just opened up, and my business is just flourishing, and my family's happy and healthy. All the things that are in that recording, kind of like the guy with the list. It's
almost like you create your own reality.
It is almost like that, yes. And
so your reality is responding to your dominant vibration, and your vibration is becoming dominant because you're practicing it deliberately.
And
Nice to know.
To get here in this seat, I sat there and I thought about how warm it is here, because I was cold over there, and I remembered it being warm and comfortable and more fun here than it is down there. And as I thought about that, I knew you were going to call me. And here we are. And so I just really enjoy that, because it continues to get bigger and better and more fun.
Better.
So with that in mind, there are days where I feel resistance, and I feel more resistance as I begin to feel the resistance. And so then I put on my warrior suit, and I want to, slay the dragon and just push through, and it's exhausting, and it's unnecessary. Yet I find myself in it.
And it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work. And then I, go to sleep, and I start over again when I wake up, and I listen and I make a writing.
Would you say that there are fewer dragons to be slain now? That the ratio of good feeling experiences is increasing, and
yeah, I would say that.
So the conditions are modifying to the consistency of the vibration that you are deliberately offering.
It's undeniably freer and happier and much more abundant.
And when you stop beating up on yourself for the moments that don't feel so good, and just take them as they come, and then just do your best to softly apply what you know, it will tip even more. Because that regret or that being hard on yourself about something is the biggest factor in you preventing it from just really moving into clarity and fun.
Well, I noticed I heard I think it was the CD, or maybe it was the meditation CD, you said something about things are always just working out for me, and so I took that and I put it in there, and things are always working out for me. And then all of a sudden people started coming up to me at work and saying, we were just talking about how you're the luckiest guy we know. How do things always work out for you? And so I have clearly manifested these experiences, or allowed them to just go my way.
So here's a question that really speaks to what we've been talking about here today pointedly. So things began working out even more for you once you began offering the sentiment that things always work out for you, or you said things are working out for you because they always were. In other words, were you responding to a condition, or did the condition respond to your knowing?
I became aware that I believe that things are actually always working out for me.
Well, what happens is, if you can start with the vibrational knowing, the conditions will respond. But if you need the conditions to respond first before you have the knowing, Wayne Dyer wrote a book some years ago, and his title was, "You have to believe it to see it. When you believe it, you'll see it." Where most people say, "Well, I'll believe that when I see it." Well, you'll see it when you believe it is his title. You'll see it when you believe it. You'll see it when you believe it. That it responds to your practiced vibration. And so, but the thing that is so interesting is that you find the feeling, and then the universe delivers it to you. You find the feeling, and then the universe delivers it to you. So you find the feeling, and then the conditions do improve. Esther's been playing a game. It's working really well for her, where something will happen that is less than what she really wants it to be. So she'll just write it down. And she writes in a big letter, condition, : and then she writes in big block writing, this is the condition, and she knows that she's being dramatic. This is the unwanted condition. And then she says to herself, and the reason I would like that condition to be otherwise is because I would like to feel, and then she starts writing a short list of emotional words. I like to feel free. Free is often a word that comes. I feel free and fun and frisky and clarity. Fun, frisky, clarity. Those are Esther's most desired emotions. And then she turns to a whole other page and just fills a whole page with words like fun. Words like clear, clarity, fun, full, expanding, fun, sure, ease, fun, clear. Just repeating herself, just writing them, not trying to think about them, just writing them, just writing them, just writing the words, and focusing on the feeling of that the word brings. And then once she fills a page, she's there, even though the condition is right where it was. The condition didn't change, didn't even make a phone call. She didn't adjust anything. She didn't wrestle it to the ground. She didn't take any action. The condition didn't change, but her mood sure did. She's showing herself what unconditional mood is. It is the mood that I prefer apart from the condition. It's unconditional. My mood is, I don't have to reflect the condition by my mood. My mood does not need to be, the condition doesn't control my mood because, there are so many conditions in the world. So many conditions. And so much non-physical assistance helping you. You see, just got to line up with it. Yeah. Good.
One more thing, and I'll now get done, that I picked up. I heard you do a kind of the alphabet in Downstream words. And so my daughter and I will be at the breakfast table and just start appreciation, beautiful, creative. Just go through the whole thing. And by the time we're at E, I'm practically giggling, regardless of my realities of what my day are going to be. When I start that downstream focus, I tend to go in the direction I'm focusing. So when I wake up and I just
you don't just tend to go there.
No.
The entire universe lines up, and the path just says, you like that? Look at this. 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 And then your friends say, you are the luckiest person in the world.
So thank you for all of that.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
When we last conversed, it was at the end of a 2-day intensive workshop, high-flying, amazing energy workshop. And the question that I posed was, how does it get any better than this? And Abraham, of course, had a brilliant answer. But it started an unfolding for me.
So let us add to our brilliant answer.
Of course.
How does it get any better than this? It's your ability to perceive how lovely it is that improves. Your ability to perceive the deliciousness of the moment is what the improving factor is.
What started to unfold for me was a wonderful chain of events. The first one being that, to me, it no longer made sense to make people wrong, no matter what was going on. And then the next part of that, it made no sense to make me be wrong about anything. And so I went forward intending on this path that was unfolding to meet people with unconditional love. That was my intention. Out of this unfolding came a recognition for me that I'm gay. And that was a big change in my perspective from where I was. That knowing, that intention to meet people with unconditional love was huge and certainly helped me to continue to move through that process. And even when the 99.8% of the responses to that were very positive and loving, and the 1 or 2 that weren't, I rocked back on my heels for a minute, but was able to really sort of regain my footing, if you will, pretty easily.
Yeah, because of those, let's say there were 100 people, and 98 of them were allowing, supportive of you, and 2 weren't. You know that the greatest benefit that you received was from the 2 who weren't.
Right. Right.
Because they gave you an opportunity to find that unconditional place.
Right.
In other words, people
absolutely.
who support you don't help you find unconditional love.
Right.
It's the people who don't support you that help you find it. Isn't that
Right.
interesting?
Right. Exactly.
People who agree with you, they're not helping. They're just reflecting your balance, but they're not helping. They're not helping. So if you've got some, and so what's coming back to you is a reflection of how you're doing. So 98% coming back to you that way, and 2% coming back to you the other way. Pretty good indication of what you've got going on vibrationally, isn't it?
Clearly.
And do you think your goal should be 100%? We don't.
Right.
We think you should take it as it comes and enjoy the improvement and feel as good as you can feel.
Right.
So let's say 50% of them allowing, 50% of them freaking out. Would that matter? Do you have to focus at the freaker-outers?
No. I get to choose, but no, of course not.
You get to choose. And so do you want to exercise any control over what anybody thinks about anything? You haven't got any control like that, or you just want to focus, you want to control the direction of your own thought.
Right.
So even if it was 98% the other way, it'd be fine.
Right.
Because what they think of you isn't any of your business,
True.
unless you make it your business.
But it is nice when it is reversed, when it is that 98% reflecting
Why?
back to you.
Why?
Confirmation? Isn't it confirmation of how well you're doing, and isn't it nice to know how well you're doing?
Yeah, but there's a little trap in there. There's a little trap. In other words, someone said not too long ago, I love being on the top of the mountain and breathing the fresh air and looking off to the vista and seeing the wildlife, and everyone was really enjoying the conversation, and we like this person to be happy and focusing there, but we said, now that's a condition. The condition seems to be the reason that you feel that way. If you're down in a valley or a hole, then are you in trouble? In other words...
But doesn't that go back to when you were explaining to Esther that she was in that place and found the beauty? She didn't see the beauty and then find the place. You can only recognize how well it's going when you're sort of in that well-going place.
You know when you'll really be where you want to be? When you don't need to explain to anybody what's going on.
Right. Right.
In other words, because there's a certain seeking of taking everyone's temperature. So I've decided this. Ta-da! Taking a poll, taking a poll, taking a poll, taking a poll, taking a poll. Results of the poll, the results of the poll are good. You know you're really there when you say, ta-da! Take me or leave me.
Right. Right.
No poll. I'm not taking any poll. I'm not taking any of your temperatures, only my own.
Right.
Yeah.